Hi everyone, so today I thought we'd look at the Jong or air dummy, and what that means is we'll be looking at the dummy form and how to practice it without a dummy. But I'd like to say just a little word of warning about this. Usually you'd be reasonably proficient and experienced with the dummy form, practicing it on the dummy before you do this, and the reason you wouldn't be taught or practice the air dummy until later is that you have to look at what the dummy's for, or well, what it certainly means to me. For me, this is it's a measuring tool for measuring all my positions, to get everything correct, make sure all the angles are correct. It's not for bashing your arms in, you know. I mean, there's certainly it's not the only thing it's used for, but for me the main advantage of the dummy is I'm learning the correct distance and angles and rotation in the techniques. So if you take the dummy away, it becomes almost impossible to do that. But I thought we'd have a look at it anyway today, as not everyone's got a dummy at home, and for those of you who have got a dummy, we'll go through it in a little bit more detail. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to use our positions in space with no dummy as a measuring tool, and I'm going to go through the hands first, the upper triangle first, and then we'll do the stance, the lower triangle, second. So the first movement is here, and you've got, so your left hand goes forward. Well, sorry, you should address the dummy first, of course, but we don't do that in the air dummy. To make sure that you're the correct distance away, hand goes forwards, either as Rusao or as a kind of Muntao, hand going forwards. I've seen it done both ways. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is you're gaining contact with the hand, you're sending a little bit of energy forwards, and then you feel the resistance, the tension, and then you borrow that with the lap sound. I'll do it on the other side so you can see. Now the details are, make contact, this hand goes through here, takes the centre line, turn and apply lap sao. And remember, this hand here could be man geng sao, could be palm strike, could be strike to the ear. So you go forwards and here, and you do it just the same in the air. Hand goes forwards, but remember the details. Your hand goes, your right hand goes behind your left to take the centre. You turn and apply. Now, you should know your lap sao position. Okay, this is Sunim Tao. There's my Tan sao or Fuk sao. I know my distance. I know the rotation here, and I know this hand goes over to form lap sao. And I turn here. So you should know this shape. So your hand shouldn't be waving around. You should know this exactly. And your hand goes here. Now, if you're practicing the air, you could certainly extend forwards and strike, because you're not going to be smashing your hand against a hard dummy. So you could strike, or you could also practice man gang sao. Now the next movement, I'll show you on the other side so you can see. Next movement is bong sao. So if you look at the position of the hand, it's here. Where does the bong sao go? Same place. So look at my left hand now. There's my lap sao. Where's my bong sao going to go? There, where my wrist is in space, here. So that's my bong sao. Now the next movement from here is you rotate around. Yeah? So my wrist is staying here and I'm rotating to Tan sao and striking. So if we're here, my wrist is here, as I go around, it shouldn't move, it shouldn't come back, it shouldn't go forwards, it should just stay where it is in space here. Okay, so that's our little marker here. Now the next movement is step out 45 degrees, insert double gansau forwards. Now our wrist was here for tansau, so where's our upper gansau hand going to go? Same place. So we've got another marker. So from here, that's my marker. As I step out 45 degrees, my hand goes here. So gansau, tan, double gansau. Now, a movement that is quite tricky when you're learning a dummy. I've got to move this way, but my energy still goes forwards into the dummy here. So from double gan, I need to step across here. Okay. Now, you've got to try and use your imagination here. So this is gansau. Now this is the front of the dummy. This is the centre line of the dummy. My tansau goes here. The inside of this arm. Well, I say inside. This is not necessarily the inside of the arm, but literally speaking, at the moment we're on the inside. And there's the centre. So when we go from double gansau, when we do our quantau, what you don't want to do is point this anywhere. This needs to go to the front of the form here. So double gansau, this is the outer of the dummy's right arm. The other arm will be coming here, here. And this is going on the lower arm. Now the lower arm is going to be directly on the centre line. So just as I'm thinking centre line for this one, this is centre line as well. Notice each movement still has to go forward. I'm still thinking forwards, forwards, forwards at each movement. You need to be aware of the front of the form and go forwards. Now here's our other marker. Here is my right tansau, and I'm going to go around here. This is, I need to know this point in space, and I'm going to go around here. So here it is. I know where that point in space is because my arm is there. There. So here it is. And it's there. Notice I'm still trying to stick to the dummy even though it's not there. So I don't come back out and go in. And I'll show you this side so you can see a bit better. Here. This arm takes the shortest route here. Takes the shortest route here. I don't circle around, I don't come back, it goes directly to it because you'd stick to an opponent, no? So don't change it. Okay, so from here we've moved around with tansau and we're here. So in the form, I'm here. I'm going to do it the other side so you can see. So in the form we're here. Just come up from quantau and we're here on tansau on the other side. Now, the next movement is double gansau and closing off. So, once again, this is my reference point for double gansau, and then this, as I, well, I'll come to that in a second. So, here, from here, here's my reference point. I go directly there. Here's my reference point. Here, 45 degrees, double gansau. Now, as I circle round, I already know my reference point here. My hand goes up the centre for jumsau here, on the other arm. What I'm doing is I'm squaring up to the start of the form, which should be the same as where you started. So if I'm here, I'm going through my form. When I come back, I should be back here again in the same position. We'll come to it later, but you could mark it on the floor where you are. Now from here, I'm not losing contact with either of the arms. This changes to futsal, and this one stays on the inside. changes to Wu Sao. Well, it's going to be a vertical palm strike, but this is a Wu Sao structure just to control before I find and apply here. So here, here's my reference point. My reference point I already have here, and that's the end of the form. So go forwards on the centre line, take the centre line, turn. Here's my reference point, insert Bong Sao. My reference point on Bong Sao, I turn step in with Tan and side part. Here's my reference point, I step out 45 degrees with double Gan Sao. This is on the reference point. As I step across, I still think forwards and I go into the centre line here. Here's my reference point. The lower hand will come directly up and I'm in Tan Sao palm strike. Here's my reference point, 45 degrees, double Gan Sao. Here's my reference point, I go around it, square up to the start of the form, Cow Sao, Jong Sao, control, control, and apply. And that's the upper part of the body. And then you do, starting on the right hand, using all the same reference points as you did before, just reversed. Though of course when you finish off on this side, you go for the lower palm strike here, like this. Okay, so now to the lower body, the legs. Now, as you can see, I have a very poor chalk outline of some of the footwork, so I'm sorry Sifu, he would have done a far better job at that than me. It also looks a bit off centre because maybe my dummy's moved slightly, and I also have a slightly wonky leg on mine, but you'll get the idea. It could be worse. The one in Hong Kong is just some gnarled twig they've stuck into the dummy by the looks of it, which gave me a shock first time I tried to do the form on it. But anyway, so let's go through the footwork. So you start off, and I'm here. I've got this mark and this mark. This is where my heels are sitting. The circles. That's my correct distance. So when I turn, I'm turning where they are. Now, when you go to the Tan Sao, you are stepping forward slightly, and you can see I've got a mark here, and that goes to the dummy leg. This line, that is where my left heel is, my right heel will be here, and I'm stepping forwards slightly here. So I step forwards, and the leg circles in here. Remember, this is your Chun stance, so if I were to square up to the start of the form, that's my shoulder width distance, and that's me turned. Okay, so front of the form, here's the first movement, insert Bong Sao, step forwards and in. Now the next movement is, I'm going to be at 45 degrees, so I step out to here. You can see there's a line, and there's where my heels are. I'm at 45 degrees to the dummy, and I'm then going to step across, but my feet are going to return to where they were originally. So when I step across from my Kwan Sao, my feet are going to be just where they were at the start of the form I turned. So from here, I step across, heels in the original position. And from here, you can see there's a little line going up this way. I step up here, my foot comes round, and then I'm in the position for the second Tan Sao. Now from here I'm going to step out 45 degrees. So now that's this line going across here. I've got my my double Gan Sao. And then when I go to Cow Sao, I step across and I end up in the original position. So here's my double Gan Sao. I square up at the same time as executing the Cow Sao. Okay, let's go through that one more time. So This is why you can see a triangular shape already here. So I turn, I step forward slightly, insert my foot. By the way, with the plastic dummies, you tend to be nearer the ankle than the foot. So with the wooden dummies, it'd be more on your foot, but just because of the way these are designed, you end up being closer to the ankle, because the leg's a little further out. From here, I go 45 degrees. Then I step across with Kwan-sao, and my heels are in the original position. So even though I'm turned to my right, my heels are where they were at the start of the form. I then step up this line here, I insert, and I'm in the other side for Tan-sao. I then go to 45 degrees, and then square up for the to the front form as I finish with Kao-sao and Jutsao palm strike. Okay, so let's have a little go at the third section. So remember, the second section is just a mirror image of the first. In the third section, we've got Pak-sao, passing Pak-sao, cover, low bong, out, in, cover, find, apply, centre line, out, find and apply, find and apply, and finish. So you've got Pak-sao, 1, 2, 3, just the shoulder. So go 1, 2, 3. Here's a marker, okay, because my hand is here. As I turn and pass it on to do the passing Pak-sao and pass it on to my Wu-sao. There's my marker there. So there it is. Turn, fire off, and then remember where that marker was here? That's where you're going to cover. So turn, there's the marker, forwards, cover, and then turn. Now there's not really a marker, but you should be able to remember the position from going here. You want to do a nice big deep turn, turn it past you, and don't forget the passing Pak-sao, don't go 1, 2, I'm just showing you that to teach you. You want to bounce off it, you go forwards and cover. And you want to do that fairly quickly as well. You don't want to go fast here and then go and plot down that bit. You want to fire off and cover again pretty quickly. So 1, 2, 3. Low bong sao on the centre line. Here. Now, for the next bit, I'm stepping out. Well, I say I'm stepping out, I'm just stepping across. So what I'm not doing is I'm not stepping back, but I'm stepping across. Now, if this is the front of the form, here, that's where I'm making contact with the dummy, and I step out, I should know that it's there. So low bong, step out, in. With this movement, you're landing and then applying energy forwards. So as opposed to when you land here, we've got the dummy moving, you're going to end up going here. 50-50 weight on the feet. Check your balance, side kick. Now the side kick, obviously before you could check your balance, find, and then apply. There's no finding and apply because there's nothing there. But still check your balance, apply, come here. I like to do that quite slowly because if I do it quick, it sort of gives me room for error. But if you're controlling here, leaning back, and in my head I'm finding and applying and coming here, it makes me work a bit harder. So after we've done the side kick, we are coming back to low bong. So you've got to remember where you are in the form. This is the front, step out, cover, side kick, in to the front of the form, and then step to the side, Vaxau, check your balance, side kick, and then you've got to come back to where the arms are. Yeah. So once I've done this kick, I've got to come back. I need to know where the front of the form is, and also remember before we had a reference point to find it. Now we don't really have any reference point. We've done our side kick. You have to come in, know where the front of the form is, and you finish off just as before. Okay, next section, fourth section. So, you've got, when you first come here, the double jump, here, Hoon Sao, this should all be straightforward. You've got reference points here, in, come back to where you were, here, and then Jutsao. Now, Jutsao, you have reference points. This is where you go around the arms here. See, this is my contact point on my wrists. Turn, turn, and the finish off from the second section. So I'm coming to the low side palm here. What you don't want to do is swing around. You want to keep to where the reference points are. From here, Bong Sao. So you've just covered here, but you've got this reference point from this movement. So you should know where this point is in space to insert your Bong Sao. Bong Sao here. I notice it's in front of my shoulder. So all of the same reference points that you'd use at any other time, you still use for the dummy. So there's no exception, like my Bong Sao will never be here. It will never be here. It'll always be here. Now you're going to step around that reference point. Don't pull back, still control that point in space. But this time, when you step around, you're going to launch a kick and side palm. So you've got to think of this kick is 90 degrees to the dummy. So this is the front of the form. My kick needs to come this direction. So as I turn from Bong Sao, I control this space, and as my kick comes up here, it needs to be coming at 90 degrees, and needs to be where the leg is. So this is a bit more difficult here than the leg. So as I turn, control that point in space, and the kick comes down here. The kick's still going to be, well, you just need to remember that 90 degrees. So if this is the front of the form, the leg is coming out here, it's going to be about there. Okay, so where are we? So we just did our kick, land, as before, Bong Sao, once again, Bong Sao, control that point in space, control, kick to the kneecap, cover, and end. And that's the fourth section. So I think we'll leave it there for now.